show is brought to you by
Organissima, New York. Your exotic skin, hair, and beauty source, and your one-stop shop for all your natural and organic skin and hair care, featuring authentic organic Moroccan oil and prickly pear seed oil and much more. Bringing you only the best, straight from the source and proudly produced in the USA. So what are you waiting for? Shop today at www.organissima.com. Organissima, New York. Your beauty is our duty.
Folks, welcome back to the iHealth channel, the Fit and the Fab, the Glamour channel, all the channels, EMBC Network, with your host, Hurricane H today, iHealth Radio, of course, and new day, new show, new topic, an excellent topic, a great personality that I have with me today that would actually potentially create and give you a spark in your life, and we'll talk about that. She is really your spark, and her story is inspirational, motivational. She is a certified health and business life coach, and she guides people through her own experiences and successes. She started her life young and her business, journey young enough, but she has also had a lot of stardom in her life, and we're going to talk about all that stuff. So with me today, Debbie Freeman. Debbie, welcome.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Hurricane. I'm so excited to be here today and talk to your listeners. I think my story is, everybody has a story, right? We've all been through trials and tribulations, but it's all how we fall. When we fall, it's how we get back up, right? Sometimes we don't want to get up. We're depressed, that's when we do things. But today, I'm hopefully going to inspire your listeners to say, hey, if she could do it, I could do it too. Now, you kind of know my backstory is, as a young girl, I had abused as a child, sexually abused. So I went through that. I got through that. In fact, what that kind of put me through my personality of wanting to throw myself into whatever I did, not being home, being at the dance studio, wanting to just be perfect, wanting to just throw my mind, whatever I was going to do, I would just throw my heart and soul into it. So I didn't have to think about other things, right? That's how I stay focused. Is I would always, when something went wrong in my life, and we'll get on to later on in my life and how I did the same thing again, because what we do with our habits is we carry them into our older years as well. Mm-hmm. So that was a habit that I had from being younger. But growing up, I wanted to be a dancer, a professional dancer. I was told that I would never do it. And I said, no, you don't know me. I'm going to do it. That's what my heart and soul told me. We say that you can manifest things when you have the passion for it, the goal. I saw myself on stage. I saw me dancing with the Rockettes. I knew that's where I was going to be in New York, a professional performer. That's where I was headed. I knew it in my heart and soul. So how are you going to get there? So of course we have a goal and we think, okay, well, how am I going to get there? And a lot of people will say to themselves, they'll have goals and they'll, they have people bring them down. You can't do that. And they listen to them. And you can't do that. You are in control of what you can do. Right? Yes. To an extreme. Really. Unless you're like, I don't know, 4 foot and you want to be an NBA player. That's not realistic. But if you're realistic about what you want and you're going to go for it and do it, then put your heart and soul into it and do it. And that's what I did, is I put my heart and soul into everything. I was an Atlanta Hawks dance team member. I auditioned with over 400 girls and only 12 girls made it that year. And I was one of them, and I didn't know anybody. I stayed till the very end. I hadn't eaten all day, and I didn't care because I was going to eat when I was dead, or later. That's the kind of mindset I had, is I was going to do what I wanted to do. And, I could sit here and I could say, well, I did this, I did this, I did this, and I did this. But let's talk about the things I didn't do, Hurricane. I tried out at Six Flags over Georgia when I was a teenager to be in the show. I didn't make it. They wanted me to be Daffy Duck or something.
Okay. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Right. But I didn't do it because back then I didn't want to be in the hot suit and the hot sun and the humidity. But, that's kind of where you started off in that career, is you start low man on totem pole. But I mean, and I didn't make a lot of other things. I would go to auditions and I wouldn't make them. And I'd really want them to want to make them. Jean Ann Ryan Productions, I wanted to go be on cruise ships and dance on cruise ships. Well, I didn't make it. I auditioned with hundreds of girls then and didn't make it. She later called me, but to come, and she still had my resume, but I was busy because I had made it Rockettes. So I kept going. The thing of it is when you're hit with that block and something doesn't go your way, you don't stop. And so many of us will make up excuses and go, well, I guess it's not for me. Isn't that the easy way out?
Typically is. Unfortunately, it's not the right way, but yeah, a lot of people do that. They're just like, not for me, and they give up.
They give up. And the problem with that is that you're not being true to yourself. I mean, if that's really what you want to do, but otherwise, God's just saying, hey, I had to take you down this road and show you these lessons to build you that much stronger to go this other route, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at it. So all of us have our own GPS. We're not going to take the same route, right, left, and then you go down. No, he is going to give us our own GPS, and we're going to go on whatever route that he's going to take us, because, you can sit there and look at somebody and go, I want to be a millionaire. They did it with this, and I did it, I want to do it just like them, and some people say, well, just follow my work. All you have to do is do the same things I did, and you'll do the same thing. Well, I don't believe that. I believe that everybody's road is different, and your timing may be different than their timing. It's not about when we want something. It's all in God or the universe, whoever. It's just not up to you. It's your job not to give up, though.
All right. Well, so you've touched on a lot of things. I mean, this is all deep stuff, and I'm just gonna take it now and just slice it up. Talking about a spark. I mean, this is gonna be a whole fireworks show. There you go. Well, folks, I told you, this is gonna be an interesting and very inspirational and motivational session here. So first things first. You started with the story about being sexually abused as a young girl, and that is an experience that doesn't matter, male, female. Just hearing it is hard. It's just heartbreaking. It's just something that you don't want to hear. I have a daughter. I would not want someone to do that to her, and I would literally go to extremes if somebody even dares to go there, right? But unfortunately, it happens, and people every day we hear stories. Sometimes we don't know about these stories; we just hear them in the news. But it's one thing when you hear it from someone that has experienced it, but what some people, they can collapse, they can have real psychological problems. Sometimes, God forbid, they can even tend to go to suicide, and some folks do lose their life. Sometimes they can never come back, and it haunts them for the rest of their life. But you were able to kind of take all that negative energy and not dwell on it, but instead you found a way to actually motivate yourself to really rebound, and you did. And you found your real focus, right? And you wanted to be in your studio and work and focus on dance. That was your getaway. That was your way out of it. That was your key to success and moving away from it. And that's important for our audiences. We all can go through different things, not necessarily the same. But when you get to that point where it's like, I got to find my way, you got to find something that you will be passionate about, something that you can help yourself with, and work towards it. Don't let the negativity, not whatever happened already happened. I mean, yes, hopefully whoever did that has served their damage, and God has taken care of him, and then, or the law, whoever needs to do that. But at the same time, you moved on to greater places, to better places, and your story now is serving many other people, and hopefully we can guide people not to be in that position, but certainly to help them get out of any position, whether that is similar or something that they can go through a trauma when they at a younger age. But you started a business at 19. That was your first studio.
I had my own dance studio at 19 years old. Absolutely. Yeah.
So not a lot of people can state, loud and clear and say that I started a business at 19 and I managed that business and run that business.
Yeah.
And I succeeded. That's in its own. And I love it, because to your point, having a business is not it's not a picnic, right? And it takes a lot of energy and focus. So that actually was a great point of focus for you. So you don't have to think, because if you start thinking about what happened and you dwell on it, it just keeps compounding, and then next thing you know, it's like not good. I mean, your reaction can be negative. You took it the other way and you went positive all the way. I'm a very positive person. I cannot stand negativity. Everything in my life is about positivity. This whole platform was created for that purpose. And I love when I engage with people. I mean, you can see my energy is like feeding off yours right now. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
We had to like blow up here. So,
I love it.
But literally, you did that, and then you started your business, and your mission was you wanted to be on stage. And you mentioned something very also powerful, that you've tried a lot of auditions and you didn't make all of them. And some of them actually you would think that, why not? I got this, but someone didn't see the value in you. And, it happens to a lot of the best of the success stories out there, the best stars, they were not seen for their value, and someone just didn't see them. And unfortunately, it was to their detriment, their loss, because they still made it. And then, what? Hey, they're probably like just sitting in the corners like, oh my God, I should have, but I didn't. But so you went to the Atlanta Hawks, you said, right? That was it, right?
Oh, you know what? I didn't make the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, there you go.
I did not. I had auditioned for them about a month before time, and I really wanted that one, and I didn't make it. And they picked 40 girls, and there was only 100 girls at that audition, and I didn't make it.
But then?
But a month later, I made Atlanta Hawks dance team, which back then it was like in living color. It was like, Paul Abdul. It was like doing hip hop dancing, right? Yeah. I was in my element. I was like, I am loving that. I was learning how to do hip hop. I was just loving every minute of it. And I was supposed to be there. I wouldn't have done that if I had made the Falcons. You have to trust the process, and I'm so glad I didn't let it stop me. I said, no, next.
You remind me of me. I had an interview. Somebody interviewed me, and we talked about my story. And something similar happened to me, because I wanted to be a sales manager. I started in sales, right? Okay. And I wanted to be a sales manager, and I was declined to say I was not ready. I was not capable of being a sales manager. Only to do it 6 months later, to actually have the position with somebody who saw the value. And from that point on, this is like almost 28 years ago. I've been managing, directing, and up, and got into business and whatever. But it's amazing how these stories, I hear them all the time, where people are told you're not good, yet they're really the best at what they do, and they were going to be the best for those. But those people miss that opportunity. I give the example of Walt Disney, right? He was told that he lacked imagination.
Yes, right.
Go figure that one, right? Okay. So, but hey, but really, for people watching, listen, doesn't matter whatever you're in the world, doesn't matter your background, your economics, if you have a dream, you have a vision, you have determination, that's you. You have determination. You're determined, you're resilient. Nothing can stop you no matter what. And you build that. So you made better than all the other stuff. I mean, the Radio City Rockettes is like the show to go to in New York City. It's like
most prestigious.
I'm sorry?
Most prestigious dance line in the world.
That's right. But not only you were just the Rockettes, you were the captain of the team, right?
Dance captain. Wow.
So we wanted to highlight that one, because that's important to actually realize that, not only you made it, but you were the leader of the team, and the one that everybody followed, the rhythm with. And that is, I have to say, I have to be proud of you, even though I just met you today. You were proud of yourself. You did something great for yourself. And it was for people that have anything in their mind that they want to be something in their life. Like they see a star, they see an act, they want to be actors, they want to be athletes, whatever they might be. They want to be in space. Who cares? Whatever you want. Okay. Work towards it. Never give up. Be determined. It's not always going to happen the first time. It's not like I'm going to go in and just get it the first shot. Don't give up that easily. Know that you have to keep trying. Keep trying. You might get a little side gig here, something, but eventually, and you have to develop your skills to get there. Then when you're there, the results will always be there. There's no doubt. And you're right. You said something important about, yeah, I might see you and I might think like, I want to be exactly like you, but I want to be on stage, but maybe I have to take a different route to get there. Maybe it's going to take me a few more months or less months. It doesn't matter. I don't have necessarily to take your, journey specifically. I have my own. I love the GPS piece you said. I think for all people watching and listening, that is true. We all are designed, in a certain way, and we have our own path this life, and we're going to cross different paths and we're going to meet other people, but we all have our own unique paths and journeys. So it doesn't matter. We can be similar, but still different. You can still be your own flavor, but not exactly like everybody else. There's a lot of stars out there, a lot of, movie actors, a lot of athletes, and everyone has its own journey and how they actually make it. So don't give up. Don't think that, oh my God, I didn't make it this way, or, that's it. You don't know when you're going to make it. That last attempt is the one that's needed. Unfortunately, some people actually do give up and then they just collapse, and then they would never know if they were going to make it. But that's the key. Don't stop. Period. So
and I think a lot of people, Hurricane, also, they could be listening to this podcast thinking, I can't relate to her. She's done too many things. You know what I mean? Like, that's like beyond me. I would never do anything like that. But it doesn't matter what your field is. Maybe it was being a doctor. Okay. Whatever it is. Okay. But going after and being the best, or just having that dream and goal. And that's what I want to say. It's just because mine was where it was, doesn't mean that you have to have that same goal. But whatever it is, maybe it's to be to have your own vet, clinic.
Yeah. And again,
hey, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's going to make you happy, that's your passion, then go for it.
I think we have the power as humans that whatever we feel that we can. And by the way, we don't just see, that's the thing that sometimes I think about this, and everybody can relate to this. If you just think deep enough, you will know that somehow you get these inspirations and you never know where they come from. They're just there. Like you wake up one day and you feel like you have an idea. Exactly. Yeah. You have an idea and you have a vision for it. You remember what you said earlier? I love what you said. I saw myself on stage. I saw myself as the Rockettes, and that's that everyone that wants to be somewhere on any level, they got to visualize that. They got to manifest that idea. Like I can already see myself 5 years, 10 years from now, and I can see myself in that position and how it's going to be and people cheering up and whatever. That's, if you do that, your mind is more powerful than you think. It's going to get you there. And life is also very unique because as you start building in this path, things are going to come your way. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, this show, for example, right? When I started it, I did it. I wanted to do it. I was determined. I had the hesitation first. Spoke to my wife and like, I'm not sure. It's like, well, you could do this. I'm like, I'm going to do this. Doesn't matter. And it started with one show, the next thing. It was just me. And then I started upgrading it and started getting guests. My first show with a guest, I was so nervous. It wasn't funny. And I've presented, interviewed, done a lot of things. I was a tour guide that did a lot of stuff on stage. But when I had the first interview, I was not sure what to expect, but I still did it. I still got determined. I prepared myself and get into it. And so slowly but surely, but you know what I find out is like the next thing you know, there are people coming your way. There's different things and you find new ways and it just expanding and expanding. And the sky is the limit. This is like literally, I'm just still at step one. I'm not even anywhere where I need to be at what I see, visually where I am today. I'm giving my example and your example just as sparks for people, but hopefully someone can see themselves in their path, whatever their journey and destination and vision that they have and the goals and dreams, make them. You can, you will, right?
Oh, exactly. And I mean, if you can't visualize it and see it, then it can't happen. You have got to have that vision in order to know it is possible, and just put yourself there. I just, we've going on to how I went on from there, and knowing kind of life's pitfalls, right?
Mm.
Well, after I got done with the Rockettes, I ended up getting married because I was ready, and it was time for me to have kids, and that's where I wanted to go. And you can't have that kind of, you can if you wanted to, but I didn't want the lifestyle of being a performer at night, right? So I wanted to get married. I wanted to have kids, and I wanted to have somewhat of a normal lifestyle. I started working at somebody else's dance studio and teaching, and was a big part there. But I ended up making the wrong choice in partners, which a lot of us do sometimes. And this one was not physically abusive, but I had chosen somebody that was mentally abusive. So I went a different route, thinking I was picking somebody different, and had his addictions. So he would lose his job every 3 years. And, after a while, after the children got old enough that I could actually go back to work and not just teach dancing, a few hours, couple hours a day, but I could actually do something. I was like, you know what? I'm ready. I could actually open up a dance studio now. I could do this. And we had just sold our house, and we had thousands of dollars in the bank ready to put down on this new business. I mean, I could have done it. I had done so much, but basically I woke up one morning. This is where we get to this. And I woke up and he was gone. He had left the night before drunk and didn't come home. And yeah. And so I went to the bank account, and the whole savings was gone. I was just getting ready to sign on the line my new dance studio / performing company. And I had it all planned out, the floors, I was ready to sign on the rent paper and have it start being built and all of this. We were ready to go. And the money was gone. He was gone. Didn't know where he was. I didn't hear from him for a week. This was like on a Monday. By Wednesday, I had found him in he had been arrested. He had totaled his vehicle and didn't even know it. He was so drunk. So his vehicle's now in the tow place, and I have to go get it out. He doesn't even know that it's not even drivable. He doesn't realize it's demolished. It's gone. He doesn't come back. By Thursday, I'm watching his email account, his Gmail. He left it on. And I'm watching all these emails coming in from women that he's been seeing.
Damn.
And dating. He's had this whole second life that I didn't even know about it. I thought we were together. I had been living this. I thought we had a beautiful relationship. So it was kind of crazy to see what was going on, and to see the money gone. It was like, who is this person? You hear these stories about these guys, like things happening, a midlife crisis or whatever, and then come home and killing their kids and their family. I mean, I hate to say that, but you don't know. I mean, I'm sitting here faced with somebody. I don't even know who this person is. Who is this that just stole from me, cheated on me? How long has this been going on? Well, apparently for a long time, right? I've been going through depression because every night I would, basically go to bed and say, honey, are you coming to bed? Oh, yeah, I'm coming. And he'd never come. Mm-hmm. And after a year, I'd be like, well, it's been a year since we've been together. And he's like, no, you're exaggerating. You're making that up. And I go, no, I remember it was last Valentine's Day. So what I'm telling your listeners is, when you have a gut instinct that something is going on, you need to listen to your gut, because I sat there and I said, there's no way you can go a whole year without. being with somebody. And of course, he denied it. Every time he came home drunk, he denied it. He never once admitted he was drunk, even when he reeked of alcohol. Never. And that's that compulsive liar where they actually believe what they say. Like, that's the type of person that can pass a lie detector test. They believe their own BS, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? So he's living this lie. And I think he was living a life that he just wanted to show everybody he was perfect, like this perfect life. But it really wasn't him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was married to that. And a lot of women have even worse stories than that. I mean, but here I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened to me. What, during all of that, I mean, after so long of your husband not touching you or having that intimacy, you start to think, what's wrong with me? Mm-hmm. And of course, when I'd ask him, have you been doing this? Then it would turn around on me and what I had done wrong. Yet I wasn't even, part of the conversation. Yeah. And it would turn on you. And of course you do. You start to think to yourself, well, gosh, must be something wrong with me if he doesn't want to be with me. What am I doing wrong? Am I ugly? But you start to believe these things. And what I'm saying is, girls, you're talking about, I had to have some kind of confidence to get up and be in front of the rock, be a Rockette and do all the stuff that I did.
Well, they have very specific, looks and feel. And so you had to to meet their criteria. It's pretty, it's not easy. So
confident in myself, right?
Of course.
This man destroyed it. I gained 100 pounds. People didn't even know me. They looked at me, they'll look at pictures and they go, that's you? And I go, yeah, that was how depressed I was. Because everybody takes depression. They'll either start drinking, right? Or they take drugs, or they throw themselves at their work, whatever it is to numb the pain, right? Because we're going through pain. You're suffering, you're depressed. And mine was, I was just going to eat away because I hated myself. He doesn't look at me, so what do I care? What does it matter what I look like? Just gone. So finally, after a while, after the years go by, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you know what, Debbie, if you keep this up, he's not going to stay with you. Nobody's going to want you. Your health is going to go. And your kids, how are you going to be around for your kids? My most important, you know what I mean? My loves. And so went through this divorce, and I even went back to him when he was in rehab. And I said to him, I would have forgiven him. I would have gone to counseling because that's what us women, strong women, do. Okay. It's not about me, my kids. I don't really have an ego. Could sound like I do because I've done all these things, but no, I've done all my things that I've wanted to do. I'm just happy and I'm blessed. I'm grateful. That's where I am. I'm grateful. But now I have these kids in the world, and it's my job. I promised God that I would bring them into this world and do my best to raise them as good human beings. It's my job to be their role model. So I go back to him and I tell him, do you love me? He says to me, I love our kids. How many times did you cheat on me? Lie to me. It doesn't matter, Debbie. It's been so many times. I just went, wow. So there's no respect because I'm asking you a question that would help relieve pain or just help us to move. No, he doesn't want to move on. It's very obvious. And that was just an eye-opener. I did all that I could do. I kept my promise to God. And I was like, you know what, Deb? As I walked out that door and I went and put the keys in my car, I'll never forget turning the keys and thinking to myself, this weight had been lifted off my shoulder. I can go experience a new life. I don't have to worry if he's going to come home drunk or walking on eggshells, because I never knew what kind of personality was going to be walking through that door at night, you know? And so many women live like that. They don't know what's coming home. It's stressful. It's not healthy at all for your bodies, and to be going through that. I'm surprised I didn't get some kind of illness or disease or something, because that's the next step. So I'm thankful that he went out and did that. That was a movement to get moving into whatever God had next for me. So I'm sitting here thinking, I have to be the role model for these kids. I have to raise them. I have to take care of them. And most of the time, as women, we will get scared and fearful of anything different, right? We all want to stay in our comfort zone because it's so comfy in there, right? But no, okay? I got to be strong for my kids and for myself, okay? It's time, Debbie, you stick up for yourself. Your health is important, okay? So I think to myself, I'm gonna work out. And it's that anger, okay? People go, how did you do it? How did you lose 100 pounds? I'm going to tell you how. It's called diet and exercise. There is no magical pill. We all look for it because we're all looking for the quick fix. It is not a quick fix. And I said to myself, I don't care if I'm going to start out 10 minutes a day. I'm not giving up on me or my kids. And that anger of what he did to me and where I was, I didn't want to be there. No, but this is where I was. And this is what I was going to do. I was determined. It's that determination. It's just like, I like to tell people, it's just like Martin Luther King. He was angry, but he didn't use that anger for bad. He used that anger to keep him going and to motivate him, right? So what is your anger? Right? Taking that anger and turning it into a positive and going, no, I'm going to make this a positive movement. Right? And
Channeling your energy the right way. Yeah. It's powerful.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do it, but it's powerful.
It is very powerful. But we can all, get off track. We're all human. We're not perfect. But I was determined, and I lost the 100 pounds. And then finally my friend says to me, she goes, I used to choreograph all the Miss collegiate, high school, princess pageants here in Nevada. And she said, Debbie, gosh, you're looking great. And I said, yeah, Jackie, I said, isn't it funny? Too bad I can't be in the Mrs. Nevada pageant this year. Because I'm divorced. And she laughed. She goes, but you can do something else. Give me a call. So I called her and we started talking, and she tells me that the Miss division was opened up to women divorced or widowed, and Miss can go any age. Right?
Mm.
And I was like, you know what? I know what pageants are about. I used to have my own pageant business. I used to teach kids how to walk, how to interview, talk in the microphone, hold themselves. This is right up my alley, because it's not about the crown. It's having a voice, a platform, and what you stand for. I was like, wow, that's powerful. That's what I want to do. I want to be a speaker. I want to motivate people and inspire other women who've gone through similar situations. I mean, they're all different, but have fallen and don't know how to get up. I want to be that inspiration, that sparkle for them to say, hey, you can do it. Here's my hand. Take my hand. I'll help you up. Let's do this together. Right? I'm all about team. When you're a Rockette, it's all about teamwork.
well, you started leading life from early on, and you're always making decisions. I think I'm just gonna pause quickly. I want to just go back to the story that you just shared. I mean, that's pretty deep stuff. And for our listeners and viewers, especially the ladies listening and watching right now, I, as a male, as a man, I mean, I don't know what to say on behalf of all men. I would apologize on the behavior of such type of action that you had to go through, but it is sad, and you're right. You're not the first one, and probably not the last one. There are, I would say there are female, women that can be just, bad, but to your case, there are more men that do these things probably, and alcohol can be a bad thing. People can get really addicted, but you should not suffer if you see something wrong. I know you did it for the right reasons, your kids, and you were in disbelief. It's always the case. This is not happening. It can be. You try to, deny everything. You see it, but you're in denial. And I think that's typically a very common approach to this, because it's just the way people want, because you don't want to, it's like your nest, right? You don't want to destroy it. You're comfortable, to your point. We're like nice and cool, but it's not happening. And the writing's on the wall, but it takes time. I mean, I had a show about this with a guest, and she is actually a coach, to help women and mediate on marriages and things. And she had the same thing. Her husband, 2 years, he was there, and all of a sudden he comes in one night and says, "I'm out." She didn't even see it coming, and that's, I mean, after the fact, she realized that it was happening, because then you start flashing back, taking a look and see like all the behavior changes. But while you're in it, you're never going to see it. That's the problem, because people sometimes they blind to these things. And folks, if you're seeing something, doesn't matter. You need to. Life can go on. And by the way, we live in a world today where you don't have to be in a relationship to have a good life. You can. I mean, it is ideally for kids. You want to do it for the kids, and you want to. Typically, it's a good thing to have both parents and just grow as a normal family. But you know what? That normalcy now is not longer the same as it used to be, a couple of decades back. People actually are able to manage as single parents, and kids still thrive well, and even providing that there is a good presence, there's good education and nice mentoring and monitoring of the children. But they'll grow up.
Can I stop you for 1 minute?
Yes, please.
I have to also tell you that we are like the best co-parents.
There you go.
And I have to tell you, because I'm not going to let my kids have to go through fighting and stuff, because it's not their fault. I forgive him. He is a human being. He makes mistakes. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect either. Now, I'm sure I played my part in it as well somewhere. I did something that made him unhappy. You know what I mean? We both play our parts. But being able to say, I forgive, let's move on with life, I think it's so important, because when we live with hatred, you did this to me, you took this many, 12 years of my life, I was with him 16 years, 16 years of my life. Now, I could think of it like that, but if I did, I'm going to live in that hatred, and that's going to keep me down. I don't want to be there. I've already spent enough time on you. I'm moving on.
The high road, right? That's what you did. And you know what? Forgiving takes a lot of courage and bravery and talent. And really, you're the better person. And what you said is powerful too. When you divorce, for whatever the reasons, it is always, especially when you have kids, the kids should not suffer. And we've had discussions before about when parents are so, bitter with each other, and they kind of put the kids in the middle of the story. Oh, your mom sucks, your dad sucks, it's all his fault, it's all her fault, and pointing the fingers. And then what happens? The kids are traumatized, and then they grew up in that. Some of them, they don't even want to be married when they grow up. They don't even want to have a relationship. It kills their whole thing. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't work with two people. You unite, you separate, the kids are in the middle. To your point, co-parenting can exist. They can still be happy with him, with you, and life goes on. But you matter. He's going to matter on his own. He probably moved on with his life. Whatever happened to him, great. But you're right. Look, there's always they say it takes two to tango. There's got to be something that to your point. But you see, you're realistic. yes, he did a lot, but you also realize that maybe there's somewhere in there that you had some piece of it, even though some people would say, well, you don't have to put the blame on you. It's all him. It doesn't matter. The point is, we can dwell about the reasons and the causes and all the stuff, or we can just move on. To your point, the better life is ahead. And if you did it correctly, which you did, you're just going to be the better person. And you're smiling. You look at you all over the place now, talking to the world and sharing your value with a lot of other folks that may potentially be experiencing this currently, or they don't even know that they will experience this in the future, because there are young women out there that may not even having entered the world of dating or even marriage and stuff, and they don't know what's in store for them. And these things can happen. Doesn't matter. Most of us, we think it doesn't happen to me, it happens to the rest. And unfortunately, I can tell you in my life, a lot of things that I never thought can happen to me happen to me. So be careful out there. Don't ever say that this is not happening, it's only happening to the others. We are the others to the other on the other side. So be careful with that. But I love your energy. I love your positivity. You channeled your energy the right way. You've chosen obviously it took a beating on you, but the good news is you realized that, and you took the necessary steps to make a difference, to change your life. And not only that, you wanted to prove to the world that you're back, and you're back in style, and you can do this not only for you, but also now you can take this journey and share with other people. Now, you did make your 2021 Miss USOA 2021.
But the pageant that I did before that with Miss Jackie, what I didn't tell you was that I won first runner-up, so I didn't win.
Okay.
Number one.
Okay.
She was 22 years old and I was 49.
Hey.
Stood right beside a girl that wasn't even, twice my age, standing right beside her. I felt so victorious that I was able to do that. Do you know what I mean? And be able to stand there and hold my own. That right there made me feel good. And well, let's just be honest. I already had the shoes and the dresses. So
hey,
that was my dress rehearsal. So then I went to another pageant system and I ended up winning that system. And then since then, I've just within like the last 2 weeks, I've just been crowned Miss Classic Universe.
Ooh,
which is an international title with girls all over the world. So I've gone from Ms. Nevada, which was USOA Ms. Nevada, because that's their system, into the Classic Universe system, which is Ms. It's classic meaning over 40. So I'm 51 now and still holding my crown.
Go 51.
Yes.
We're 71, baby.
Wow.
All right. Don't tell me you're May. That's boy. All right. This is fun. I have to say, what is that experience? I mean, being, on the pageant and be, we've seen this congeniality and some of these fashion movies and stuff, but how does it really, we've seen on TV, all these shows, but you were there. The experience itself has got to be something different. Just the challenges and being able to make it, and you have to, it's a lot of work. It's not easy, right? Is it?
It isn't. And you know what? You have to really understand, the whole time I went through this pageant, I was up on stage and I was just very humble. I was just like, you know what? I'm so grateful just to even be here, to be up on this stage and just look at all these beautiful people. And that's kind of the attitude I had when I walked out. It was just like, I just thought of the most happiest things, because really, whether you win or lose, you're a winner. You stepped out of your comfort zone to get in front of these people that are judging you when they don't really know you. You know what I mean? It's somebody's opinion. Maybe they wanted a blonde, like blondes, which I'm clearly not. So, you could lose just because of that. Maybe they just thought, whatever they see. But it's just me getting up in front of my friends and my family and showing them, hey, mommy's got a goal. My son and my daughter watched me wake up when they still do, because I haven't stopped. I wake up every morning at 4 a.m. I go work out. They know I have a goal. I'm working towards my goal, and I'm going to stay healthy no matter what I'm doing. And that, I think, is important for them to see. And that just being through the pageant, I love pageants. Win or lose, I loved it. I just happened to win and I feel great.
Well, you said the key I guess value there, which is there is no loser when you actually in this contest, because if first of all, not everybody makes it there, and so if you're already in there, like I always say this, a lot of people, oh, he didn't make it, she didn't make it in a race or whatever. He made the race, damn it. You know what like the World Cup, so like the Super Bowl. A lot of work goes in that Super Bowl, months of prep for, and a lot of people are involved, but only one team wins. So what does that mean? The other ones are losers? No, they won. They made it to a level. Somebody's going to lose. Somebody's going to be. There's always one or two winners in all these contexts, or contests. So championship doesn't matter. So the fact that you're in it, you win it already. So whether you get the highest winning record and the value and the money that comes with it, maybe the crown and whatever, that's a different story. That's a title. That's great stuff. I mean, we want to go for that. But the fact is, being in the game.
Yeah, we had all had the experience. We got to experience this in our life, make this memorable experience that you'll remember forever and treasure it. And I made new friends. I love meeting new people, and we all have the same goals. Like all of us love to do philanthropy work. You know what I mean? And we're giving back to the community. And these are beautiful women inside and out. It's just, do you like the blonde? The dark, what do you like? I mean, it doesn't really matter because they're all beautiful.
Well, it's amazing because you have clearly shared with us in the beginning of the show. You talked about never give up, and if you fall, you get up, you get it in, be determined, and that's it. This is exactly what you did. I mean, after all that whole bad life that you had to experience and go through all these nightmarish days and ups and downs, the weight gain, you gained back your weight, you became, comfortable again. And not only that, you went back to the stardom and to the stage, and you did it. And for people, listen, sometimes people don't even want to try the first time, let alone the second time. You're a perfect example for our audiences. Hey folks, listen, shit can happen. But guess what? It's how you deal with it. You can just collapse and that's the end of it, or you can just say no, and this is just a little bump, and I'm gonna just drop. We had a show the other day, and we gave the example of babies. I mean, babies fall all the time, but they don't stay on the ground. They cry, they get up, they try again, they fall again until they get it. Well, guess what? The babies are better teachers than we are, because if they can do it, we should be able to do this in life. Now, it might be harder, because there's challenges. But it doesn't mean we can stop. It doesn't mean that we can give up. I believe personally, there's no giving up until the day I don't live, and even that, I still believe that there's a better world out there, beyond this. So at the end of the day, you got to live. You have that nice little, sign behind you. Let's be awesome today. Well, let's be awesome every day, and that's really, that's the concept, folks. Life sucks. There's a lot of things that we can say life sucks about, but life is also beautiful. It's awesome. There's so many things that we can do. No matter what your passion, no matter what you're into in terms of life, be full of life. Energy is a whole thing. And it's just a mindset. You can look at things bad, or you can look at things good. You can move on from bad things, or you can dwell on bad things. The choice is yours. No one else can determine this. No one can make a difference in life. If you chose right now not to do anything, or maybe even repeat, go back, get married again, test it all over again. And you could be married, I don't even know, but doesn't matter. The fact is you made choices, but you're learning from your experiences, from your, not mistakes, I call them experiences, because really that's what they are. It's not, you can take about, it's a mistake. Nothing is a mistake. It's just something that you learn from. It's an educated, you pay for education, you pay through your mistake. That's the price. You made a mistake and you learn a new thing, and now you know better. So, and you can teach others, which you're doing. So that's the other part. Not sometimes we do this, we learn from it, but we're like, let them figure out on their own. You're doing something even better. You are sharing with the world that you don't have to go through what I went through. Learn, see the thing, see it in advance, and you can do this. Now, the other piece that we want to discuss today is, you said it, health and diet. 100 pounds is not something that you can drop off overnight. It's a lot of work. You said it. And I love what you said. I don't care. 10 minutes a day, I'll start. And, sometimes that's the hard part, the start. And by the way, I can relate to it. I mean, at a point in my life, I gained probably I went from 170 to 245. So that's a pretty thing. I was like a bubble, you know, and it was in such a short time just because I was just lazy. And then to get rid of that, it took me almost 5 years to get back to where I needed to be. And so, but I had to start somewhere. And I've had a lot of shows about, diet, nutrition, and just weight gain, weight loss, and all this stuff. And frankly, the stories there are thousands of them, if not millions of them out there, of success stories where people, listen, we're humans, as you said. We tend to just drop. I mean, emotionally, you're going to have a bad day. It's all good. The question is how many bad days you're going to have. You have to have a lot more good days than the bad days. You have to have a lot more good hours in the day than a one bad moment. We're going to face things in life, but it's how we handle that element or that incidence that we actually experience it at the time. And then the rest is history. It's just how you motivate yourself. You are yourself inspiration. And that's a big thing. You have to motivate yourself. Self-talk. I mean, I have a good friend, and shout out to him. From here, he does a talk show about self-talk, and self-talk is a big deal, right? The first thing that starts is you. If you don't kind of look at the mirror and say like, I got this, and by the way, even when you do those pageant and you stand there, I mean, I'm sure you do some practice to
Of
get
course.
exactly. So you are standing there and you actually thinking, and again, visualizing. I mean, I know being on the Rockettes is not something that, going on stage, I don't care who you are, there's always some level of anxiety before you get in, especially the first time.
In everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, so we just like you, if you don't mind, Debbie, to give us your success formula. I mean, we got it. You're determined. You're motivated. You're inspired yourself. You don't just give up easily. You keep going. But what can you tell our audiences right now, in a nutshell, like to really to help them see the concept that you've gone through?
This is my advice is to really understand that in order to have anything or be be what you want to be, you do have to go through sacrifice, right?
Mm.
Whatever it is, it's going to be a hard road. I'd love to tell you it's easy, but it's not. I mean, if we were given things so easily to us, that's like the rich child that gets all the money and, he never has to work a day in his life. Does he really appreciate it? No.
Oh,
You know what I mean? But if you've gone through the hard work, you appreciate it that much more. You had to work really hard for this, mango that you wanted, and you didn't have any food or any money, and you get it. And it's like, oh, this is the best mango I've ever had in my entire life. Oh my God. Right? Because you've worked for it, you've earned it or whatever. You know what I mean? You have to go through whatever you have to go through. It's not an easy road, but don't give up.
love it. Again, you're right. It's never going to be easy. There's no better taste than when you earn that feeling that you've worked towards it, and you enjoy that the fruits of your labor and all hard work is there. And it's funny because with one of my kids, first time they worked and they were able to buy something, they were taking so much, caution with that it was a pair of sneakers, and it was like, oh my God, don't miss it, don't do this. It's like, oh damn it. When I used to buy them, you didn't care. You just go out there and beat the crap out of them. Now this is yours. Don't touch my stuff, right? That's how it works. And it's amazing, that feeling that because you earned it now, what how much money you put into it, how much work you had, you appreciate things. Again, when you take everything for granted, nothing matters. If you know what it takes to get somewhere and the steps, you have a different taste for life, a taste of everything that you have in your positions, and you, like anything, family, relationships, no matter what, your job, your work, your business, it doesn't matter, your career, whatever you're doing, when you actually do it and understand what it takes to get there, and challenges will be there. And you have to expect that they're going to be there. That's the other thing. Like you said, it's not easy. This is, unfortunately today, throughout social media, there's a lot of, posts and things like, oh, I'm driving a limo, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but there is no one that's successful unless they were born into it, as you said, that actually had it overnight. There was, unless you won the lottery, and even that you still have to wait to get paid. But the fact of the matter, no one gets something overnight, of that magnitude. And you stumble on a treasure maybe, but overall doesn't work that. You work hard, and yes, the question is how long, how can you maybe shorten the distance from whatever your dream is to that to achieving the dream. All those things can happen. There's ways to do this, and there's techniques, and there's assistance. There's coaches such as yourself to help people, to guide them, and maybe move them from one way to the other and show them the path. So that takes me to the next piece of the show. Your work, you're helping people today. How can people kind of work with you if they're interested? I mean, right now, audiences are watching and listening. They're probably excited about the show and about you. But I know that you do this. You also work with people, right? I'm correct. So you're a life coach. Now, is that for a specific audience? Are you doing it worldwide? Is it local? How does that work?
No, it's worldwide. So Zoom calls are totally fine. But just having that accountability. A lot of I work with a lot of women that want to just find themselves again. They've hit that middle age. I'm not happy in my job. I'm burnt out. I want to, they just don't know where to turn. They have maybe different avenues, and they're just trying to pick where they want to go. Where should they go? They don't want to pick the wrong one because, here I am, half of my life is gone. And I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to do this next half? You want to make sure it's going to be something that you enjoy, right? But honestly, what I do is I don't tell you what to do, but I help ask the right questions to empower you to do what you want to do.
I love that. I mean, empowering people is it's a whole different world in its own, and understanding because to your point, not everybody. Because if you tell them what to do, that might not work for them specifically, right? Everybody's unique. So, but if you give them, you ask the right questions and you make them discover themselves, they wouldn't know what to do. And I love that concept. Now, are these sessions? Are these like seminars? What's the format of these are like one-on-ones or groups?
They're one-on-ones right now. I am putting together a group, but if somebody would like to get a hold of me, they can contact me at youruniquesparkle at gmail.com.
All right, so I will have the link to your. I think you have a website, right?
I don't have a website right now. I've just got my podcast.
Okay. So you have the page for the podcast, right?
I do. And on the podcast, it has I have like a course that you can take.
Very good. Well, we're gonna have to put the link to your podcast as well,
Okay,
so people can listen to your work, and certainly people can connect with you directly. And not this is only for individuals, or like maybe you can do it to you said you're gonna do group now, so that's the first one.
Yes, and of course anybody doing pageantry as well, just wanting to find themselves, maybe older women, young. I am good with all ages, and a lot of people can't say that, but I mean, I have been teaching dance since I was 14 years old and coaching people, the whole time. So I mean, I've done dance, I've done pageantry, just always helping people to be their best selves. So this is not something that I just woke up one day. I've been doing this for years.
It is amazing because, there's nothing that can beat the experience and the fact that you started so young and you've done it. It's your passion is still there. And I don't think it's going to go away. You're going to keep doing this and you're probably going to impact a lot of lives. And that's really, I mean, at the end of the day, we live the legacies, right? And, it's how many people we've helped throughout, our paths that will matter eventually because people are not going to remember who you are, but they will remember the impact that you have. And sometimes people don't even, who was that? But those that you impact, will always remember you. And so I actually recognize everybody in my life that actually mentored me or were, had something to do with my career path, my successes, or just my journey. And you don't forget those people, because there's some of them. There's always a group of people that come your way that guide you somewhere. I mean, the lady that came to you to get back into the pageant, right? That reopened that door for you, and now you're there. It's you never know. Now, you, for example, this show, this is gonna go live, and everybody is going to be watching it eventually. It doesn't matter how many today, tomorrow, every day, you're going to be more people watching and downloading and listening before you know it. And in a few decades, this thing could be, with millions of people, and they all, if 1% of them can make a change in their life, that's going to make them better. Our mission here has been, proven and accomplished. So it is a big feeling, actually, to have someone such as yourself sharing your experience. And I don't know, it's not easy, because I mean, some of the stuff is personal, but you take it not as such. You take it as, I've gone through it. Let's not have you go through it.
What I like to tell people, and the way I like to think of it, is we all have our own unique sparkle, right? And if we all shine that sparkle, we could illuminate a night sky, couldn't we?
I love it. I told you, fireworks.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's powerful. Say it one more time. Let's just get our audiences to hear one more time.
You got it. So I believe we all have our own unique sparkle that we can help and share and change the life or lives of others to make a big positive impact on people. And if we all shine our unique sparkle, we can illuminate a night sky.
I cannot add to that. That's as powerful as it gets. So I know we're coming to the end of the show. It's been real. I enjoyed every minute of it. I've learned stuff, and I know our audiences will be clearly motivated and inspired by your stories and your journey and your successes. And definitely, folks, please feel free to check out the podcast, check out her link, reach out to her, to Debbie, and see if there is some synergies. If you're going through some things that maybe you see that there's an opportunity here to work with her, to help you, guide you. Sometimes you need someone to just give you guidance. That can help. That's sometimes you need someone just to listen, right? So any last, I know you gave us the main advice, but any last words just to close the show with?
Oh, Hurricane, I just want to thank you so much for having me on here. It was really wonderful to meet you finally, because we've waited for I don't know how many months now just for us to get our schedules together. But this was just wonderful. And I thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you. It was an honor, privilege, and really a true pleasure. But also, I have learned, and thank you for doing the work you do, and I commend you for doing it. Keep it up. Keep motivating, keep inspiring people out there. That's all, folks. You're welcome, folks. Thank you for being with us today, for watching, for listening in, and we'll be talking soon. New day, new show, new topic. Ciao for now.